Yes, thank you, Mark. Quite a night of sport to come. It's been quite a day of sport, and the match begins. Arsenal kick off, and on this Saturday night before Christmas, the Premier League leaders, Arsenal, are here to play Liverpool. And Arsenal, in the luminous yellow shirts with those black wavy lines on, are attacking towards the Kop, and that's exactly what they're doing with Saka on the right-hand side. Blonde rinse, I notice. Saka, low ball in, Alisson gets down, pushes it out, shot from Jesus, deflected over the bar. Oh, so close. Saka already dangerous down the right flank. Corner to Arsenal, and former England defender Stephen Warnock's up here with me.
Well, how often have we seen Saka drive at the heart of the defence and then cut in on his left foot? This time he drags it onto his right foot, fizzes a lovely ball across the 6-yard box. Alisson pushes it away, deflected by, shot by Jesus, and it's away for a corner. Great start to the game.
Well, they scored early in both of the matches last season, Arsenal against Liverpool. It's a corner then, first corner of the match in the first minute. Saka to take it, left-footed, into the near post, deflected across goal, but into the gloves of Alisson, who's able to move to his right. Took the pace off it, actually, the touch, the contact at the near post, and Alisson actually made it look easy, didn't he? Just picked it out of the air.
Yeah, lovely little flick by Gabriel, I think it was, who tried to just direct it towards goal. But this has been a really positive start by Arsenal as they come forward once again.
Hasn't it, just to a chorus of boos, and ball wasted over on the far side by Gabriel Jesus. Just tried to lift it over the Liverpool defence, but overhit it, and it was through to Alisson. So the Liverpool team then, 2 changes from last Sunday against Manchester United, when Liverpool failed to score in a match for the only time this season, the 0-0 draw. I think general expectation is that this will be a much better match to watch. Liverpool, Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Tsimikas. Szoboszlai, Endo and Curtis Jones coming into the team for Gravenberch, who, if you remember, went off injured last Sunday, but it's not too serious. He is on the bench, the Dutchman, Gravenberch. And then up front, Salah on the right, Diaz on the left, and Cody Gakpo, not Darwin Núñez, through the middle. Núñez is on the bench. The ball is at the back with Liverpool, with Alisson. So Arsenal unchanged from last weekend, last Sunday, when they last played against Brighton and won well 2-0. Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Zinchenko, Odegaard, Rice and Havertz, then Saka, Jesus and Martinelli. And they do have, back from injury, Jorginho and El Neni among the substitutes. Arsenal have got a free kick over on the far side.
Yeah, but Liverpool have got a problem. Szoboszlai fell awkwardly on his wrist, and straight away he's gone down, clutching it. Fell awkwardly as he went to tackle Havertz. We're just seeing a replay of it now, and we'll just see how bad it was. He just gets it trapped under his arm, doesn't he, and Havertz's arm, and falls to the floor. But a dangerous position for a free kick for Arsenal.
Yeah, just twisted his wrist, Szoboszlai, under the body of the Arsenal player. So he's up, and he's just holding his wrist, but he's taken his position just outside the edge of the penalty area as Liverpool have to defend this free kick. So Odegaard to take this, left-footed, the Arsenal captain over on the far side, just waits, raises his right arm, the number 8, left-footed, then curls it in towards the penalty spot, headed goalwards and in! Gabriel has given Arsenal the lead in front of the Kop at Anfield, and again, just like last season, Arsenal winning early in this match. Liverpool 0, Arsenal 1, simple as that, set piece.
Yeah, well, it will be looked at by VAR because it was extremely close. But as the free kick is taken, there's 4 Arsenal players in an offside position. As Odegaard steps forward, they make their way back into an onside position, and then the ball in from Odegaard is simply brilliant, and it just puts it in a position where he says to Gabriel, go and head that, make the most of it because you're free in the middle of the box, and he heads it clinically past Alisson, who doesn't even dive. Great start again from Arsenal. I said they'd started well, and they could have had a great start here. This is going to be very, very close.
It is. We're watching the pictures up here in our commentary position, and it all depends where the lines will come. I must say, I'm writing it on my sheet here. Gabriel's first goal of the season, Arsenal 1-0 up, but it is tight. We're just waiting to find. He eventually headed it in from about 12 yards out, something like that. Got a good head on it. And the question, well, there are 2 Liverpool players in there with him on the line that we're looking. So Gakpo and Endo are the two Liverpool players.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, John? The further back it is, it looks like it's onside. The closer you go in, it looks like it's offside. But we believe that this goal will stand.
There we are. Green onside is on our screen. It's not been announced inside Anfield. There we are. There is the distant cheers of the Arsenal supporters, and it is Liverpool 0, Arsenal 1. What a start for Mikel Arteta here, where Arsenal have not won in the Premier League since 2012.
Fully deserved by Arsenal, because Liverpool haven't started the game well, or have Arsenal started it exceptionally well by pressing them high, by getting after them. Liverpool haven't been able to get out of the half, and they've made that count very early on in this game.
Quite the setback. Arsenal 1-0 up. Mikel Arteta, 10 attempts he's had in all of the competitions as a manager against Liverpool or Manchester City away from home, and he's not been able to win any of them, besides a penalty shootout here in the League Cup actually, but the match obviously ended all square. But I think for Arsenal in recent weeks, I've seen them lose at Newcastle, I've seen them lose at Aston Villa, and my feeling was here that if they weren't able to avoid defeat here at Anfield, you know, there would clearly be questions about whether they've got what it takes this season. So what a start with all of that as a backdrop.
Yeah, and you could see how much it meant to the team, the players, when they scored that early goal. They've got a real belief that they can come here and cause problems. From Liverpool's point of view, Konate, really poor. Stay with your man and deal with the situation.
Liverpool have barely been out of their own half so far, and they're 1-0 down, attacking towards the new look Anfield Road stand. Still not absolutely full. Here though come Liverpool down the left hand side. Jones back to Tsimikas, curls the ball into the far post. That's cleared away by Zinchenko with his right foot. The left back coming across, and Liverpool now just trying to get into their stride. Szoboszlai, who conceded that free kick that led to the opening goal, was a great delivery, as you said, Stephen. Odegaard, you know, when he gets it right, he's such a talented set-piece taker. But from a defender's point of view, obviously you were looking at Konate's role in that, as Tsimikas avoids a challenge from Saka on the halfway line, who is actually the Arsenal man who's gone down holding his face. So whether he was caught by a flailing arm from Tsimikas as he put in the challenge. And referee Chris Kavanagh, we should mention him, important man today, Chris Kavanagh. He's never refereed this fixture before, one of the most famous fixtures we have. And he's come across, and he was handed off, Saka, by Tsimikas.
Yeah, handed off around the throat area, but Saka goes down holding his face. He wants more, trying to play to the crowd, understandable. Try and get that advantage if you can.
And referee Kavanagh is going to restart play with a drop ball. And Saka is up on his feet. We've got a stoppage because Ben White is actually tying his shoelaces. That's odd. And then the ball is dropped, and Van Dijk, the Liverpool captain, sends it forward under the head of Diaz, but Diaz slips. Ben White, fortunately, has got his boots tied, and he's able to pass it back to goalkeeper Raya, who pulls it onto his left foot, and then Alexander-Arnold comes in alongside Martinelli, and the ball is out of play for a Liverpool throw. I think the atmosphere is noticeably, well, you can hear it now. Certainly for You'll Never Walk Alone, great chorus, as there always is. And Liverpool now playing dangerously. Jones very nearly presented it through the middle to Havertz, who got a foot on it but could only deflect it into the Liverpool penalty area.
Yeah, just too slow on the ball there, Curtis Jones, wanting too much time, being a little overconfident in that situation. Arsenal are such a good pressing team, you can't allow that to happen. Can't take too long on the ball.
Liverpool 0, Arsenal 1. If you've been out today, remember, if you're on the move, which you very well might be on this Saturday evening before Christmas, take us with you on BBC Sounds, where you can listen to all of live BBC radio and rewind the radio as well via BBC Sounds. Van Dijk, little pass forward to Curtis Jones, and then it comes back to Endo, the captain of the Japanese international team. Diaz, right-footed ball out to Salah on the right-hand side. Salah cutting in field but overran that, and Arsenal are onto it to clear it away. Declan Rice, who played so well last Sunday afternoon against Brighton when Arsenal took themselves up to where they are now, at the top of the league with 39 points. Aston Villa with 39 after their draw last night. Liverpool on 38. Tottenham now with 36. as Liverpool come down the right-hand side, but the ball is finally running out of play off Trent Alexander-Arnold. It was Gabriel he ran into there, the goal scorer, but it is a goal kick to Arsenal. And then Manchester City back on 34 points, the new club world champions after their victory in Saudi Arabia last night. But if Arsenal are able to hang on to this, then that would be quite a lead to take into Christmas over Manchester City, the defending champions. Liverpool with the ball halfway inside their own half, and Endo does well, shrugs off the challenge. Endo's pass right to left, diagonally to Diaz, left side of the box. Diaz has got it down, goes for the byline, pulls it across. Two defenders there though, Saliba and White together, blocked out for a corner to Liverpool.
Yeah, really good play by Endo, great switch of play, getting Diaz in a 1v1 situation down the left-hand side. Got to say credit to Ben White and Saliba, because they double up, they block out the cross.
Corner then, Tsimikas to take this in front of the Arsenal fans, most of whom in that section are on their feet, buoyed by the early goal. Tsimikas takes this towards the penalty spot, but it's headed up, but not out of the penalty area. An overhead kick back towards the edge of his own box, and then Saka is able to clear it away. It was Odegaard with the initial touch, under pressure, and Saka swept it away. Arsenal had everyone back, so Alexander-Arnold can pick his pass here, but overhits it beyond the run of Tsimikas, over the top of Gakpo and through for a goal kick.
Yeah, it seemed like a bit of a wasted opportunity, that down the right hand side. They had a 2v1, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Curtis Jones, who got Zinchenko out there. Take him on, go make it difficult for him. Such a difficult ball to put into the box and be so precise.
Liverpool 0, Arsenal 1, and Raya takes the goal kick. Already the Kop and the rest of Anfield, the home sections, reminding referee Kavanagh of the fact that they don't want Arsenal delaying the restarts, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal that Zinchenko is going to take. Salah tosses him the ball, and Zinchenko waits to take this. Liverpool, who've won every other match they've played here at Anfield this season, culminating in the 5-1 victory against West Ham on Wednesday night in the Cup. Jurgen Klopp making 5 changes from that starting lineup as the ball is passed forward but deflected out of play off Salah for a throw into Arsenal halfway inside his own half. And probably, you know, from the Cup match in midweek, Stephen, the fact that Curtis Jones scoring 2 goals from midfield in that match, Jurgen Klopp said to him, right, you're the man to play in midfield. Yeah,
I don't think it's just that though, John. I think it's his press and his understanding. We'll come back to that.
Yep, because they're on the move, Arsenal, from the halfway line. Ball slipped here to Jesus, who goes for a first-time shot from the angle, but Van Dijk was coming across in front of him. It was Havertz who broke forward, passed the ball to him, but the shot over the top by a yard.
That's where the changeover of play and the losing the ball too easily in midfield. Arsenal are superb in that central area. Liverpool are going to have to be better if they want to deal with that. But Arsenal, what a start to the game they've made.
If you just got back into your car, as Tsimikas crosses from the left-hand side, it comes off the head of White, bounces down towards the dead ball line. It's actually kept in play there by Jones, who gives it back to Endo now. Looks up, right-footed ball in from the angle towards the back post. Came off head of Zinchenko. Salah shoots into the side netting. Tight angle, but very often you see him score from there.
Yeah, you do indeed, but Endo, he's played a diagonal out to Luis Diaz, who got in a 1v1 situation. This time it's just a lovely little ball to the back post from Endo. Gakpo knows he's not going to get a header on goal, so he just flicks it into the path of Mohamed Salah, and he's got a free shot at goal, but he just duffs his shot, pulls it into the side netting. Poor effort from Mohamed Salah.
As Liverpool win a free kick, Mikel Arteta is already out of his coaching area, virtually stepping onto the pitch. Lots of sort of Bill Shankly style hand movements from Mikel Arteta. For those old enough to know both Arteta and Bill Shankly. And a free kick to Tsimikas, 15 yards inside the Arsenal half. They're holding a high line on the edge of the penalty area, looking down on the Greek, the fair-haired Greek. Mikel Arteta can't help but catch our eye with all of his gyrations. Tsimikas curls this in then to the back post. That's headed up and away by Saliba, headed back across the penalty area. Rice with a header for Arsenal. Van Dijk nods it up and back into the danger zone, and then it's hooked away, left-footed ball away by Martinelli inside his own box. Again, Arsenal have everyone back. So Alexander-Arnold curls it in onto the chest of Diaz. Might bounce down for Jones. No, it doesn't. Saka's able to step in, and Saka plays it up towards Jesus, who's certainly trying to give the impression that he was fouled and caught there. The referee's not bringing it back. So Liverpool, excellent from Szoboszlai through the initial challenge from Havertz, gives it to Salah on the right-hand side. Left-footed ball across the box by Salah. That's a stretching header away by Gabriel, and then Salah is dispossessed by Declan Rice on the edge of the penalty area. Good work from Rice, who then can't keep the ball in on the far side, and it's a throw into Liverpool.
Yeah, great work by Declan Rice, but great work initially by Saliba and Gabriel defending the box so well when them high balls come into the area.
Well, now it's Arsenal who have the best defensive record in the Premier League this season. 15 goals each they'd conceded coming into today. And now Arsenal's obviously one better. Diaz is dispossessed. Home fans wanting a free kick. Odegaard up to Jesus on the edge of the area. Saka tries to get there, but the whistle's gone for a foul by Jesus on the edge of the box. Free kick to Liverpool, taken quickly by Alexander-Arnold. He was trying to pick out Salah, but that was cut out by Gabriel. Now Martinelli's got space on the left-hand side. Martinelli scored in both of these matches last season. Zinchenko then into the area. Odegaard back out towards the left-hand side to Martinelli. Martinelli has Zinchenko on the overlap, but turns and goes for the byline himself. He's being followed all the way there by Szoboszlai, and eventually the ball is tackled out of play by Szoboszlai onto the Brazilian for a goal kick to Liverpool. 1-0 Arsenal lead.
Oh, there's a swagger about Arsenal when they go forward, the way that they're playing, the 1 and 2 touch passing. It's really incisive in the way that they're playing. They're biting into tackles as Ben White goes into another tackle with Diaz. They look really up for this game, Arsenal. They haven't come here fearing this fixture as many thought they would.
Well, we knew, didn't we, that they would come with a totally different approach to Manchester United 6 days ago, because that's where the two teams are, that's where the clubs are right now. If you haven't heard, Manchester United beaten up West Ham earlier today. We'll have more on that. We've already heard from Erik ten Hag. Alexander-Arnold curling the ball forward. This is for Gakpo into the area, but Saliba turns, just gets his body in there against Gakpo, and is able to just shepherd the ball back to goalkeeper David Raya, who's able to come out and pick up. Big afternoon now for these two Arsenal central defenders, Gabriel and Saliba, and eventually, under the urgings of the crowd, David Raya drops the ball and clears it downfield. It's headed to Martinelli to Havertz with Konate out there, back to Rice, square to Odegaard, 30 yards out. Odegaard's pass, left-footed towards Havertz, still over on the left-hand side. Martinelli's in a position near the edge of the penalty area. Jesus is there as well. Arsenal with the ball in the centre circle, but very comfortable with the ball inside the Liverpool half. Ball into Saka, but Tsimikas is in with the challenge. Then Diaz plays it infield, but that was read by Gabriel Jesus, and Arsenal have won possession back inside the Liverpool half. But then that's given away by Gabriel, and he's given it away to Salah. And Salah now through the middle. Odegaard goes into a challenge. Rice is in there as well. Salah too. And eventually, free kick given for a challenge on Salah by Declan Rice, and a free kick to Liverpool forward of the centre circle.
Yeah, you just feel like the tempo is just going up a level now from Liverpool. They're trying to get themselves back in this game. Declan Rice with a foul on Mohamed Salah. Was it a foul? I'm not so sure it was, but Liverpool will take it.
Liverpool 0, Arsenal 1. Yeah, the general consensus was that there would be goals in this match, and we had one as early as the 4th minute, and the feel of it right now is that won't be the end of it. Free kick for Liverpool. Tsimikas and Alexander-Arnold. Tap from Tsimikas, from Alexander-Arnold to Tsimikas, bounces to him, curled to the edge of the area, shouts for handball as Salah put the challenge in. The ball was rattling around, but Arsenal have cleared it to Gabriel Jesus. Tsimikas in with the challenge. Jesus has done well, strong play, still going, cutting in from left to right, then back to Odegaard, who turns the full 360 degrees, and Zinchenko now on a move through the middle. Instead to his right to Declan Rice. Now eventually it finds its way via Ben White to Saka. Saka challenged by Diaz, takes on Tsimikas. Saka curls it goalwards, but onto the head of Van Dijk, who's able to head it away. Saka exceptionally good there against Diaz and Tsimikas, and here he is against Saka. White back to Odegaard in the box, right foot shot weak across the face of goal, and it just dribbles away beyond the far post on his right foot from Odegaard. Goal kick Liverpool.
Oh, this is a team high in confidence right now. Saka with some lovely footwork, some lovely play. Oh, there isn't a penalty appeal down the other end. I'm not so sure how this hasn't been given by Odegaard. As he goes down. Salah dinks it round the corner. Odegaard's leaning down to his left-hand side, hand on the ball, and Salah would have been past him. I'm not so sure how that's past VAR.
Well, they must have looked at that. I'll tell you what, Stephen, I'm making a note of that without question. That could well be mentioned post-match, depending on what happens. At the moment, it certainly would be, because Arsenal are winning 1-0. Here's Salah now on the right-hand side, clips the ball in, just over Gakpo. Rice was behind him to head it away. It looked for all the world for a moment as though that was going to land on the head of Gakpo, but he just couldn't get himself up.
No, he couldn't, but the positional sense of Declan Rice to make sure that he's round on the cover, to understand where danger might be. Szoboszlai comes forward here.
Szoboszlai, his cross, but into the 6-yard box where it is caught by David Raya. That also over the top of Cody Gakpo. Stephen Warnock with us, former Liverpool defender, former England defender. I know you can understand, can't you, why Darwin Núñez has been left out for this one. Gakpo through the middle.
Yeah, I can. I just think the overall link-up play is a little bit better from Gakpo. I don't necessarily feel that you get the threat in behind that of a Núñez, but Núñez hasn't performed, low in confidence, and I think that Gakpo deserves his opportunity to come in and play.
Gakpo, who scored in the 5-1 on Wednesday night, and Darwin Núñez, who's not got a goal in his last 11 Liverpool appearances. And Liverpool now are in a position where they need a goal. Here's Salah on the right-hand side. Salah just touches it back. Certainly be a talking point, the shout for handball against Martin Odegaard. I mean, VAR will certainly have looked at it. I mean, I cannot envisage a situation where they wouldn't. Alexander-Arnold from inside his own half. Goes for one of those Trent Alexander-Arnold passes, looking ever so casual. And Salah's now battling for it with Zinchenko. They've had a few battles over the years, whether it was Arsenal or Manchester City against Liverpool. Zinchenko comes out on top this time, and
brilliant.
Well, excellent play from Martinelli from deep inside his own half. He's away from Endo now, but Konate in with a challenge. The ball though runs to Odegaard sweeps it to Saka. He's still 25 yards out, plays it back to the Arsenal captain. Declan Rice has a look over his shoulder to see where Gakpo is, and then Declan Rice passes it behind Ben White, and the momentum of the attack slows. I thought Arsenal might be in there when they initially broke away with that first pass from the halfway line. But here is Jesus in the orange boots, like beacons down there on the green surface on the far side of the pitch on this dry December night, not too cold. It is quite windy as well. There is a wind swirling around Anfield. Floodlights brightly on for what is a milestone match between these sides. Liverpool's 100th home league match against Arsenal. Saka is chopped down 10 yards inside the Liverpool half. Tsimikas with a challenge, and that foul count is growing on both sides actually. Tsimikas and Saka. Free kick to Arsenal this time.
Yeah, but that run from Martinelli, John, just breathtaking, wasn't it? Trent Alexander-Arnold sold himself, he skips past him, then he skipped past Endo. Nice switch of play, but it's just great to watch when Martinelli is in full flow.
And Mikel Arteta will be very, very pleased with the way that his team have approached this and come into it and played in the opening quarter of the match, leading through Gabriel's header in the 4th minute. Free kick for Arsenal, played to Saka on the right wing, on his left foot, curls it into the back post. It's headed away by Van Dijk, bounces out to the far side. Alexander-Arnold is first there for Liverpool, and he just pumps it downfield. Diaz allows it to bounce, and then it's put out of play by Saliba against the Colombian. Throw-in in front of the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand, and Liverpool actually will leave it for Alexander-Arnold. So 1-0 in this big game of the weekend. We will have commentary tomorrow from 1 o'clock, by the way. Don't get that kickoff time wrong, anyone. Wolves against Chelsea is on 5 Live from 1 o'clock tomorrow. 5 Live Sport on air at 12.
Michael Brown might have been there on his own well, at one point today.
It's all right, don't worry, I now know it's 1 o'clock. Here's Endo, gives it to Van Dijk on the left-hand side. And now Jones to Tsimikas. Tsimikas on the left wing. Jones continues his run, but Saka gets a touch on it to knock it out of play. Saka just wipes his brow with his left shirt sleeve. And then it's back to the halfway line for Liverpool, who so far there's been the Salah shot into the side netting, and obviously the the shout for handball for a penalty against Odegaard. But other than that, Arsenal have defended well, and that's what they're doing now, as the ball's played back into the penalty area by White, and goalkeeper Raya quickly out of his 6-yard box to clout it right-footed away downfield. Konate gives it away under pressure from Jesus. He has Declan Rice now. Rice, lovely pass down the left-hand side to Martinelli, brilliantly judged in terms of the weight. Martinelli has Szoboszlai there with him, and now Havertz infield towards Declan Rice. Little ball from Rice. Ooh, that was almost perfect. Szoboszlai was just able to go to ground, get to it, but he's given it away. Szoboszlai, Rice back infield to Odegaard. Arsenal pressing for a second here. Ball through into the penalty area, but Havertz must have been in an offside position. Yeah, there is the flag, and it's a free kick to Liverpool. Arsenal winning 1-0.
Yeah, some of the passing's brilliant from Arsenal. Liverpool having to be at the best defensively to see off the Arsenal attacks. John, we're just seeing a replay of the incident again with Mohamed Salah and Odegaard with the penalty incident. I cannot understand how that's not been given. To try and give listeners an image of it, as it's played into the area by Salah. Odegaard at close quarters, what is he, maybe 2 or 3 yards away? He leans down towards his ankle, doesn't he, with the left hand?
Yep, he's down, sort of knees bent down, and he sort of sweeps the ball away. Now here's space for Liverpool in centre field. Jones takes it on and shoots, but there were 2 men on the edge of the penalty area, but Jones had a run there from the centre circle almost to the edge of the penalty area, not able to take advantage. That was wasteful. Now Diaz on the left hand side, he keeps the ball in. Diaz with Jones there as well, and Endo too, and it's back to Diaz, who knocks the ball infield just forward of the centre circle. Now Alexander-Arnold out to Salah, only Haaland more goals in the Premier League this season. Gakpo to the byline, crosses it, cuts it back, but straight under the head of Odegaard. And now Martinelli races to the halfway line, but Konate comes across, puts the tackle in, and then slides away on his knees in the style of celebrating a goal. But it was a good tackle, and it's out of play for a throw into Arsenal, 10 yards inside their own half. Arsenal, Stephen, have been the better team.
Oh, they have. 100% they have. Great start to the game, obviously scoring early on, but the pressing, the way that they're closing Liverpool down, the organisation. Jurgen Klopp spoke before the game about how well coached and how well organised this Arsenal team are. Liverpool are coming up against that today at the very best.
Liverpool 0, Arsenal 1, and Declan Rice passing it. Odegaard's under pressure, so Arsenal go back into their own half. So if you have been out and about today, herring around, and haven't heard what's been going on, I mentioned the fact Manchester United lost at West Ham. Burnley are off the bottom of the table. They won at Fulham. Luton beat Newcastle. Dominic Solanke, former Liverpool man, scored a hat-trick for Bournemouth at Nottingham Forest in Nuno's first match. And in what sounded like a very exciting commentary match at Tottenham, Spurs won 2-1 against Everton. And Tottenham are now, as I say, up to 4th. We've already heard live from Ange Postecoglou and Brennan Johnson. We'll hear more from the other matches at half-time. A big scoreline in the Championship as well. Leeds 4-0 win at Ipswich. Win for Celtic as well today. But we'll round it all up for you. And you can read all about it on the football pages of the BBC Sport website. Here's Salah down the right-hand side for Liverpool. Into the penalty area now. Beats Zinchenko. Left foot shot. High into the net. Beats David Raya, and Liverpool are level, short of the half hour, and it's that man Mo Salah with his 16th goal of the season. He had a lot to do, Salah, but he did it, and it's Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1.
Well, it's that man again, Trent Alexander-Arnold with a killer pass, a 60-70 yard breaking ball over the top of Zinchenko. Zinchenko loses the flight of the ball. Salah kills it instantly with his first touch, and then he faces Zinchenko up. He gets him in the box. Zinchenko does not want to dive in, and he just ghosts inside, and then he just unleashes a ferocious left foot shot into the top corner. David Raya helpless, and we've got a game on our hands because it's been all Arsenal so far, but that moment of magic just changes the game.
Liverpool needed that, the way the match has gone for the first half hour. But Salah, I mean, it was a rifling left foot shot. David Raya at his near post, you know, it was a shot high into the, wasn't right in the top corner, but it just flashed past the Arsenal goalkeeper.
Yeah, there was zero backlift, was there? I mean, Zinchenko needed help. He needed Gabriel to come across and maybe help him out, but because of the position of Cody Gakpo in the middle, he was reluctant to go out there, and Salah just took the opportunity. Great strike.
Well, that is 149 league goals for Liverpool now for Mo Salah, so another milestone is just 1 goal away, and it is 10 goals in 14 Premier League appearances against Arsenal for Mo Salah. He did get one of those against Chelsea. Actually, his first goal in England for Chelsea was against Arsenal, and he's now scored in 6 of the last 7 Premier League home matches for Liverpool against Arsenal. As I always say, you could almost come up with numbers like that for Salah against every team, but I think when you're doing it against high quality and high caliber opponents as he is, it's certainly worth underlining. And now the ball has been passed into the path of Salah again. Salah goes down after the challenge from Gabriel, but it runs for Liverpool towards the back post. The cross comes in, but White heads it away for Arsenal. So it's 1-1 now in this top of the table match. Rice doesn't clear it on the edge of the penalty area. Gabriel does with his head, and then it's hooked away by Declan Rice, and suddenly Liverpool are all over Arsenal.
Yeah, they're smothering them, they're swarming them, making sure that they're not giving the Arsenal players an opportunity to get the ball down, to find that forward pass and get that release of the pressure.
So 1-1, Salah equalising after Gabriel gave Arsenal the lead, and after Dominic Solanke actually in the running for the Premier League Golden Boot. Solanke is now alongside Salah on 11 goals, or he was until a couple of minutes ago. So Salah now on 12 Premier League goals this season, Haaland currently 14. And Salah, after scoring that goal, he looks in the mood for more. Here's Alexander-Arnold, who sent the pass to Salah in the build-up to that equalising goal. Salah again beats Zinchenko, but then Arsenal win it back. It's played back to Raya at pace, and he can only slice it into the centre circle. Jesus allows it to bounce. Van Dijk heads it forward behind him, and then a little header from Jones, but it bounces up for Declan Rice to return it to his goalkeeper.
That's the win, that, John.
And the ball stopped in its path inside the area. Mention the fact that there was a blustery wind around the ground. That almost caught Arsenal and Raya out.
Yeah, it did. And wow.
Jurgen Klopp has been knocked over by his own man Tsimikas, who is putting in a challenge on Bukayo Saka right in front of the Liverpool coaching area, and Tsimikas has actually collided with the Liverpool manager, and it looks as though the Liverpool left back has actually come off worst in all of this. It was a sort of tumbling fall from Tsimikas, who took the legs away from Jurgen Klopp, who's landed on top of his own player.
Yeah, but he's landed on his left leg and just sort of hyperextended that knee. If you look at it, it looks a sore one for Tsimikas. It's not going to be a nice one. He's not necessarily a small guy, Jurgen Klopp, is he? He'll have felt the weight to that.
If there's one person down there you do not want falling on top of you, it's Jurgen Klopp. And that could be nasty for Tsimikas. And if he's able to get up here, of course with Andy Robertson out injured at the moment. For those who are wondering, by the way, Jurgen Klopp's absolutely fine.
But he's actually holding his shoulder. It's not his knee he's worried about, which is interesting.
And I should say as well, it wasn't a foul by Saka.
No.
It was, a challenge for the ball fairly, took the ball.
Oh,
it's a
he's
shoulder
done his collarbone
problem.
Here.
Collarbone, maybe dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
Maybe it's popped out.
Oh, wow.
Right, well, that's it. That is a problem. That's a big problem for Liverpool with Andy Robertson still out. So it is Joe Gomez, isn't it, who's getting ready down there. So Liverpool are left without a natural left back.
Well, it's just an awkward situation when you're playing on the opposite side. It telegraphs everything that you want to do, and that's the problem. It makes it very easy now for Saka to go and close him down. It makes it difficult for Joe Gomez to feed Diaz down that left-hand side.
That's really unfortunate.
It is, and that is part of football, though, and that's part of the way the game goes. You can be very unlucky. However, he did give a free kick for that, John.
He has. Right, okay. But Gomez is on. I thought Saka had nipped the ball away from him, but it is given as a free kick. And so Joe Gomez now is on as left back. And earlier on the programme this afternoon on 5 Live Sport, you were suggesting that Gomez might actually be starting the game at right back with Alexander-Arnold in midfield. Well, now here he is on the field, but as left back.
Yeah, and John, I spoke about being on the ball then and how difficult it can be, but off the ball it could also help him. The Saka, he knows, wants to come inside. Well, that's Joe Gomez's strong foot. So what does Saka now do? Does he try and take him on down Joe Gomez's weak side? We'll see how that battle fares up.
Yep, certainly an interesting one, because Saka has started this game very well, as did Arsenal, until Mo Salah came up with the equaliser. So 1-1 it is. Free kick, foul on Zinchenko, centre field.
I hope he's warm. He's going to have to be, because the pace of this game that he's coming into, he needs to be warm, Joe Gomez.
Yep, it might be winter outside, but inside Anfield it is warm down there on the pitch. Free kick, then Odegaard already set up one goal with a free kick. Here it comes from central into the penalty area. Players fall over together outside the box. Van Dijk was on the ground. Arsenal low back in possession. Saka up against Diaz, who puts in a strong challenge, good one as well. And the officials say corner to Arsenal. Final touch off the Liverpool number 7. And now boos for Saka, because he was involved in the incident which led to the shoulder or neck or collarbone injury to Tsimikas. Corner to Arsenal from the right-hand side. Got a feel for Tsimikas as well, having kind of settled himself into the Liverpool team in the absence of Andy Robertson. Now that looks like it'll be a spell out for him. Corner then for Arsenal. And Arsenal players now into the 6-yard box. In it comes from Saka, headed away, comes out to Jesus, still inside the box. Back to Saka, who is closed down by Szoboszlai. And then Saka's ball into the penalty area is scooped up by Alisson, who's going to get rid of it in the time-honoured style here. Alisson to Salah, but Arsenal were alert to that, and Declan Rice was able to come across and volley it out for a throw.
He's quite brilliant at that, Declan Rice, just understanding what the problem is. Doesn't go right on Mohamed Salah and go, well, I'll go in a race with you. 4-5 yards off him, then he can engage when he needs to. Read it perfectly. That's why Arsenal are better this season.
We'll have a 6:06 tonight to discuss the fallout from this match. I'll let you know at half-time when the lines are open to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. But it is 1-1. And also be aware, big live sport from Saudi Arabia tonight. That night of boxing will start on Sports Extra at 7:30. Odegaard now trips Curtis Jones, who was running away. In fact, it's Saka. The two of them were there together, Odegaard and Saka, and Chris Kavanagh, who was looking out from the other side, saw that as a foul by Saka.
Yeah, quite clearly thought it was Odegaard who kicked him, but perhaps I was wrong. It was just the way that we saw it. Saka's the one who body checks him. Yeah, good spot.
Yeah, that's a popular move with the home supporters. Bukayo Saka, yellow carded. 2 players are 1 yellow away from a suspension for the next match, by the way. Szoboszlai, beg your pardon, Darwin Núñez, who's on the bench for Liverpool, but also Kai Havertz is 1 booking away from a suspension. Liverpool are at Burnley on Boxing Day. Arsenal next play at home to West Ham next Thursday. So it is Liverpool in possession. And Alisson just rolls the ball out of the penalty area and then slips as he plays it forward. Strange how often he does that. Gakpo got his head to it, but Diaz is beaten to it. Ball played back into the Arsenal penalty area. Raya took quite a heavy touch there, but was able to recover, pass it to Rice, and now Arsenal could be on the move. White's pass, that's deflected. And then it breaks forward now for Havertz, who heads it down. Van Dijk makes ground back towards the penalty area because Konate has gone with Havertz. Havertz is able to find Odegaard, scoops it forward, Saka, but Van Dijk is able to come forward and with his body gets something on that to block it away from Saka. Now Ben White just outside the penalty area, but Saka was going one way, he passed it the other, and White has gone down as though Luis Diaz fouled him. Well, that's not been spotted if it was a foul. And Liverpool with Szoboszlai. Now to Salah running at Zinchenko into the penalty area. Passes it through, but just beyond Gakpo. And as a result, David Raya, a rather relieved David Raya, was able to drop onto it.
Yeah, very, very difficult ball from Mohamed Salah to try and find the pass into Gakpo. He felt he could. I was just wondering whether he might have just got his shot away again. But Ben White went down, but Chris Kavanagh straight away was waving away. He said, absolutely not. You've tried to buy that free kick. I'm not buying it at all.
No, and so Ben White back on his feet. He's okay. Ben White, he's extremely bronzed, isn't he, Ben White, down there? We can see it from up here for mid-December.
Got a lovely tan, lovely glow.
Looks as though he's just spent a month in Torremolinos. Here's Declan Rice, back to Zinchenko. Don't think the footballers go there these days. Zinchenko, long pass forward, but that's pulled down by Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold, right-footed ball. Oh, Gakpo's got space just outside the box. Arsenal defence. Oh, but that's because he was coming back from an offside position. It's a free kick to Arsenal. And Arsenal breaking through the middle. Jesus, Saka, I think offside, but he takes the ball on. Still going, Saka. Alisson comes out. It bounces back to Martinelli. Still no flag. Martinelli shoots wide. And still no flag. So if he'd scored, well, we would have had to see VAR first.
Yeah, wasted opportunity though from Arsenal. They should be putting it in the back of the net and then asking the question. Lovely ball from Jesus in between Joe Gomez and Van Dijk, and Saka coming off the line, finding that position. Alisson does really well because he doesn't sell himself too early, stands up, almost reads where he wants to go, pushes him into the path of Martinelli, and then Martinelli can't finish, he just pushes it wide of the post. Arteta was celebrating on the touchline. He can't believe his team haven't gone ahead.
Saka looked offside to me.
Yeah, he did to me.
I think he would have been. He would have been called offside by VAR. I'm fairly. I mean, we're looking right down the line of it where we sit. Up here, very high, so you've got a great line down onto the pitch to see that. We are just slightly right of the halfway line as Arsenal attack. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1, 5 Live, BBC Sounds. Now here's Saka. Saka on the right-hand side, challenged by Gomez. So that's a little win for the substitute Gomez. But for Tsimikas, it's been his 15th start of the season for Liverpool today. He's never really properly been able to establish himself, has he, the Greek left back? Scored the winning penalty, of course, if you remember, in the FA Cup final shootout. That was his greatest moment, I think, in a Liverpool shirt.
Oh, I'll take that. Not bad at all, is it?
Yeah. And he made the most of it, didn't he? He certainly
I've been dining out on that for the rest of my life, John.
He probably will be, yeah. Got the distinct impression at the end of the last season that he might have been moving on, but he stayed.
He signed a new deal, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Very happy. I think they like his attitude in training and feel like he doesn't let them down when he steps in and plays.
Yeah, seems like a good character, so it's a real blow to lose him. We'll find out later. Jesus is upended on the halfway line. Free kick taken quickly by the man himself, out to Saka here on the right hand side. Joe Gomez very tight to him, and so Saka back to the halfway line. Saliba, high pass from him, headed down by Havertz, but straight to Liverpool in the all red, of course, here at Anfield. And then fired forward from Alexander-Arnold. I think the wind might have caught that as well, but Gakpo's onto this with Saliba very tight on him. Then Odegaard is in for the challenge as well. No free kick. You can hear the reaction from the Liverpool crowd to that, not being given by Chris Kavanagh. And then the pass to Zinchenko, who immediately takes it under control, finds Martinelli down the left wing. Martinelli running towards the Kop, now turns in field against Alexander-Arnold. Konate is out there as well, got a foot in on the ball, and then excellent challenge by Konate to come out with the ball from Martinelli and snuff that out. And then I think the Kop are indicating that Gabriel Jesus has put a late challenge in on Alexander-Arnold after the ball had gone. And yes, that has been given as a free kick.
Yeah, just to clear up at the other end though, I thought it was superb defending by Saliba. Just touched tight on Gakpo, not giving him an inch, and he's just too strong for him.
I think the wind did catch it as well, didn't it?
I think you're doing him a disservice. I thought it was an unreal pass.
Okay. Here's Jones, takes the ball down on the edge of the penalty area, and he's got it with an option of Van Dijk on the left, and Van Dijk passes it down the line and Gomez is away from Saka, and Gomez clips it onto the head of Gabriel, who was able to head it away. And that was a real opening for Liverpool there that Gomez wasn't able to take advantage of. Now Jones, and he's caught just a little challenge by Odegaard, who says he took the ball. He's saying that Jones dived as well, but I think he got the man, and it's a free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, well, the first opportunity with Joe Gomez, you're thinking, just hit it, have a shot, and he's trying to pick out the perfect pass to the back post. Be a little bit more selfish in that position. You've worked the opportunity well, take it on.
4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Famously never scored for Liverpool, Joe Gomez, and it did open up for him there, but he chose to pass.
Scored.
Well, it is, yeah, good point. So 4 minutes of added time. Anfield, the home sections, that new top tier, all of the people in there are staring down on the action below them. Anfield hoping Liverpool might be able to go in ahead. Free kick, Alexander-Arnold plays it in, Raya comes and catches it. Lifted his arms with his white gloves, and the ball stuck to them, and he underarms it out, and Arsenal now break towards the halfway line. It runs to Jesus, but I think it was out of play, but he's kicked the ball away there, Jesus.
Konaté's been exceptional for Liverpool. He's dealt with that danger down the right-hand side, the Arsenal left. Whenever Trent Alexander has pulled out of his position, he's been the one to engage, whether it's on Martinelli or whether it's Kai Havertz or Saka down that left-hand side.
Alexander-Arnold goes for a long pass from inside his own half, but he's overhit that one through to the goalkeeper, who's able to take possession of the ball. I imagine we'll be hearing from Saudi Arabia at half-time. Steve Bunce is there. Ronald McIntosh will be our commentator ringside. Barry Jones and Stacey Copeland with them. As I say, it's on Sports Extra from 7:30, the full evening of boxing. Here is Jones, who is challenged by White, and the ball's out of play for a throw-in to Liverpool. Goes back to Endo near the halfway line, who's very much getting a run in the team right now. Wataru Endo, 6th consecutive start, settling into that role in the middle of the Liverpool midfield. Szoboszlai now back to Endo, back to the Hungarian again, but Arsenal are parked back in there in added time as we are at the end of this first half. 1-1 the score. If you've just joined us, Gabriel with an early goal for Arsenal in the 4th minute with a header from an Odegaard free kick, but Mohamed Salah with a super goal to equalise, having initially been found by Alexander-Arnold. There's a tug back on Martinelli, and a yellow card is shown by Chris Kavanagh for Endo. So a yellow card for the Liverpool midfielder. Martinelli was looking to break away from the halfway line.
Yeah, he had to do it. He had to make that foul. He had to make a cynical tackle, because if he didn't, Martinelli was just ghosting at the heart of Liverpool's defence, and they had numbers and they were going to outnumber Liverpool.
So free kick, not too far away from where Arsenal took the lead. A little more central actually, this one, but Odegaard has just placed the ball exactly where he wants. It's the same signal that we saw before the opening goal. Odegaard plays it in, but nothing like the delivery. Played it straight onto the head of Alexander-Arnold, who was able to clear, but it comes back to Arsenal. Ball from Rice out towards the left-hand side. Martinelli being very closely watched by Alexander-Arnold, who's forced the error, miscontrolled it out of play for a throw-in, and then actually ran across the front of Alexander-Arnold, which was not missed by the Liverpool supporters on the far side. Throw-in into centre field, and then a tangle of arms as Endo and Havertz run together, and that's a yellow card for Havertz.
Oh, come on, that's not a yellow card. I mean, it's barely a foul, if I'm being completely honest. It's shoulder to shoulder between two players. It's a great tussle between them both, and Havertz is trying to get back on. Okay, there's a little bit of an arm across, but that's not a yellow card.
And that is a suspension for Havertz, who will not be involved against West Ham at the Emirates next Thursday. So his next availability will be for the Fulham match, the match of Fulham on New Year's Eve, which is one of our 5 Live commentaries next weekend. 5 Live Sport will be on air 12 o'clock on Boxing Day with Mark Chapman, incidentally, with all of the sport covered. Great day to get out and watch live sport if you can. Boxing Day Liverpool then with the free kick. Szoboszlai hits it into the backside of Jesus, and that's the last action of the first half. Entertaining, very entertaining. There have been goals, one apiece. Gabriel for Arsenal, Salah for Liverpool. Liverpool also felt they might have had a penalty for the Odegaard handball. But for the majority of the half, Arsenal were the better team, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, they were, but Liverpool came back into it. But this has just been a great game of football. Technically, two absolutely outstanding teams. Tactically, going head-to-head, changing the formations throughout the game to try and find space on the ball. And we are seeing some quality football from both sets of players. More to come in the second half, can't wait for it.
Yeah, and Liverpool unfortunate as well to lose Tsimikas after Jurgen Klopp, his own manager, landed on top of him following a Salah foul that was given out on the halfway line. So Tsimikas off, Gomez on, half-time, Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1.
Thank you. Reaction to come during half-time to the day's Premier League results. West Ham 2, Manchester United 0, Fulham 0, Burnley 2, Luton 1, Newcastle 0, Forest 2, Bournemouth 3 and Tottenham 2, Everton 1. All after the news with Carl Hartley at 6:20.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. The Israeli security services say hundreds of Hamas and Islamic Jihad fighters have been taken to Israel for interrogation after being captured during the fighting in Gaza. They say some had been hiding among civilians before surrendering to Israeli troops. Meanwhile, the Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza says more than 200 people have been killed in the last 24 hours alone. A murder investigation is underway in Brighton after a 26-year-old man has died after being hit by a van. It happened in the early hours of this morning. A 40-year-old man, believed to be the driver, has been arrested. Russia's electoral authority have disqualified a former journalist who had hoped to stand against Vladimir Putin in next year's presidential election. Officials say Yekaterina Duntsova had made mistakes in a candidate application. And a man has been arrested on suspicion of theft and criminal damage after a street sign featuring work by the artist Banksy was removed. The piece of street art, which was a red stop sign with 3 military drones on it, was unveiled in Peckham at South East London yesterday. It's thought it's worth around £500,000.
BBC 5 Live.
Tonight, 5 Live Boxing travels to Riyadh for the biggest fight night of the year.
The show is about to begin.
One night, 3 heavyweight fights. With Daniel Dubois versus Jarrell Miller, Deontay Wilder taking on Joseph Parker, and topping the bill, Anthony Joshua fights Otto Vallin.
And a right hand has landed on the chin, and it's a single shot KO from Anthony Joshua.
Hear live commentary with 5 Live Boxing this evening from 9 p.m. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
And all the build-up to the boxing gets underway on Sports Extra at 7:30. So Burnley are off the bottom of the Premier League thanks to a 2-0 win at Fulham. Their 3rd win of the season. Here's Vincent Kompany.
It's never perfect. That's when you ask a manager. But I think, the first half we had to dig deep and as much as we started really well, in fact, I think there was periods where Fulham might have been better. But then the second half was solid in every way. I think we made good use of the ball when we had it. We were dangerous on the counter. We defended well. And just happy for the fans that they can go home and have Christmas with this as a last performance.
Often the temptation you see when sides take a lead is to sit back. It was quite clear the team were pushing forward, trying to get that second, and got that reward as well.
Yeah, I think other than the last maybe 5 minutes, I think because they committed just so many numbers, but even then you can be dangerous. I thought we just stuck to the game plan, and I thought in the second half we just executed a little bit better. And sometimes the momentum of a game can shift when you can be dangerous even when you don't have the ball. I always feel that on the ball we're able to do something. I'm always excited to see our team play. I'm always excited to work with the players that I have. So I'm glad they got the reward today.
There was another side in the bottom 3 who got a victory this afternoon. Luton beat Newcastle 1-0, 7 days after that game at Bournemouth was abandoned after Tom Lockyer suffered a cardiac arrest on the pitch. Here's Rob Edwards.
I'm an emotional wreck at the moment. I've just said to the lads, Yeah, really, really proud of everybody. It's been a tough week for the football club. It's been the greatest challenge of my professional career, and it's funny, no coaching badges or anything prepare you for handling anything like this. And I've needed my staff to rally around me. I've needed the support of the board, the support of everybody, our fans, and the players have been incredible. And then to go and perform the way they have today after last week, words sort of fail me really at this moment. I'm just pleased that Tom's okay and his family's all right, and that's all I care about. And we wanted to do it for Tom. It wasn't extra motivation for us. We just wanted to embody what he's about. And Tom's brave. He's determined. He's a fighter. And I thought we showed all of those attributes today. We played really, really well, and I feel we deserve to win the game as well. It's strange still even talking about a football match now with everything that's gone on. But yeah, it was a huge win for us.
And here's Eddie Howe on the defeat.
I think Luton played well. It was always going to be a difficult game for us. Tough place to come. Our performance needed to be really strong today, and it wasn't, especially in the first half. So disappointed with the goal. We switched off from a corner, and ultimately that cost us the game.
Yeah, it was a free header for Andros Townsend at the end. You say you didn't quite hit the heights that you were expecting today. What do you put that down to?
No excuses from our side. Just on the day we weren't where we needed to be to win the game. Second half was a lot better. We created chances, but we couldn't find the elusive goal that would have turned the game back in our favour.
Cracking game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and we heard from Ange Postecoglou during Sports Report live after their 2-1 win over Everton. Here's Sean Dyche now with George Cummins.
We deserve more than a draw with a performance like that, but unfortunately 2 soft moments defensively, which didn't like us, allows them to get a strong foothold in the game. 2-0 up anywhere, it's not easy. 2-0 down, is not easy. Our mentality was fantastic. I thought the performance was excellent. I thought the way we went about it, even before their goals, I thought we were pressing, we were breaking the play high up the pitch, we were looking to score goals. We've got in some great areas, and you can see one and you go, okay, that can happen. The second one's so soft from our point of view. After that, well, even before that, I thought the whole game really, I thought we were excellent. Like I say, mistakes can happen, but I thought we were absolutely excellent today at a very tough place to come and against a very good side.
I see your fans, they give you a great reception. How proud are you of your players that they've put performances away to Tottenham like that today, and it feels like it's all coming together at the club despite it being a defeat?
Yeah, that's the clear mentality of our fans. I think they're enjoying what they're seeing, and I think the biggest thing we've tried to get the fans to understand, and you can see it today, that this is a group who are giving everything. This is a group who care for the shirt. And if I was an Everton fan today, which I sort of am, but you know what I mean, it's a different thing when it's your profession. I'd be looking at that side today. I'd be going, no, that's a side that's fit and worthy of wearing our shirt, because that's what I wanted to try and guarantee when I got here. It's not easy, styles and all the rest of it. But what you want is a group of people when the fans can look at and they go, they're giving everything. And I thought they got that again today. Again, by the way, because I've seen a lot of that lately. Fans play their part. They've been terrific. And I really like that idea of a one club mentality. It's not easy. It's easy to say the words, but it's not easy to pull it all together. And we're growing with that.
Can watch everything Match of the Day 10:25 on BBC One. On to Bournemouth, who won 3-2 at 10-man Nottingham Forest, thanks to a hat-trick from Dominic Solanke.
Yeah, I'll remember this forever. So many times in my career I've got 2 goals. Trying to get a hat-trick and it's never quite come, but to do it in this fashion as well, to score that late winner late on, just makes it so much better. I actually had a meeting yesterday with a few of the staff about scoring some headers, and scored 2 great ones today, so part of it's on them, to be fair. I'll thank them for that, but I was just so happy to get the win as well.
There are 2 sensational headers from Dominic Solanke. The game meant a first defeat in charge of Forest for Nuno Espirito Santo, and midway through the first half he saw Willy Bolly sent off, getting a second yellow card despite winning the ball in a tackle with Adam Smith. Here is the New Forest boss.
Dramatic and sad because I think we didn't deserve what happened today in the game, especially our fans. We didn't deserve this decision of the referee. That it's a bad one. Everybody has mistakes, but the way he approached the situation was not the correct one.
What do you think about the fact that VAR does not apply when there's a second yellow?
Yeah, that's the rule, what he says, but knowing that and referees knowing that, they should be a little bit more cautious, take time. You know that Bolly has a first yellow card, it's a follow through, but Bolly touches the ball and the foot of Bolly is under the foot of Bournemouth. Knowing all these details, knowing that Bolly has a yellow card, take your time. Wait for the help of your assistant in VAR and make the correct decision. Don't rush yourself in the decision that changed totally the history of the game.
In the lunchtime game, Jarrod Bowen got one of West Ham's goals as they beat Manchester United 2-0. Here he is with Jonathan Pearce.
Jarrod, really well done. Good way to go into Christmas. Had to wait a long time for the goal to come.
Yeah, and it was never going to be, a walk in the park for us playing against Man United, a really top side in this league. And then second half, we kept at it, kept plugging away, and got the goal, and then more importantly got the second goal quite soon after, and then made it more comfortable for us going into the last 10 minutes.
Do you think playing through the middle, as you have done recently, you seem to be enjoying it, has helped you in snuffling up that goal? Because the keeper parries the first one. Is that more of a sort of goal poacher's instinct you're learning?
Maybe, or people might say it was luck. But no, I think when I scored that goal, I was playing off the right, and I think that's the flexibility that me, Mo and Lucas, if it's us three up there, we've got kind of interchanging positions. And I was out on the right, received it, played it to Lucas, and it was a lovely ball over the top. And then it was just about trying to keep my nerve, and it fell to me to pull it away. So like I said, I think if it's me, Lucas and Mo, we're really interchangeable and not kind of predictable for the opposition to mark us out the game, so to speak.
And Jonathan Pearce also spoke with Erik ten Hag.
Decent first half, I think, for Manchester United.
I think decent 72 minutes where we didn't take our chances. We should have go in the lead, but we didn't. And then one moment of switching off, and then you're following fix.
That's 13 games for you now away from home against top 9 opposition from last season without a win. How worrying is that for you? Is it a worrying trend, or is it just one of those things in football?
In this moment, we are not top, but we have seen last week against the top of this league how we were head to head, and even we could have won that game. Or same issue, we didn't score where we had the best opportunities of the game. There we defended for 90 minutes very good and solid. That has to be always, I think, our standard.
We've got the second half from Anfield on the way, and then here from around 7:20, 7:25 to bring you festive cheer. It's Chris Sutton.
Yep. Good evening, Mark. Yeah, we want to hear from Manchester United fans.
Why are you laughing?
Just the festive cheer stuff. I think
right,
a slight bit of sarcasm there.
Not at all.
I think there was. But no, we want to hear from Manchester United fans. I mean, Erik ten Hag, they're saying that Manchester United are not top at this moment. I mean, they're just a bang average, ordinary team, aren't they? Jarrod Bowen said that Manchester United were a top side in his interview there, but I think he was being very generous. What is it? 13 defeats before Christmas this season. The first time they've gone 4 games without scoring since 1992. Where are they heading under Erik ten Hag? And David Moyes, what a job he's done. He was slammed in the week for the team which he put out against Liverpool, wasn't he? But up to 6th place, and he still gets criticism. I don't really get that. 08085 909 693, Mark.
That Forest second yellow card?
Oh, blimey! Yeah, I think that was tough on Willy Bolly and Nottingham Forest, but that because it was a yellow card, that wouldn't have gone to VAR anyway. I think I'm right in saying that. So I don't know what Nuno Espirito Santo was actually talking about. And if you're a Nottingham Forest fan, he did a good job at Wolves, didn't he? The first few seasons he was in there, didn't do so well at Tottenham. May have been sort of didn't get long enough. But is that quite an underwhelming appointment? Want to hear from Nottingham Forest fans on
Christmas jumper on?
Chris, I've got a Christmas jumper on. Not the one. Well, it's got snowflakes. It's got Santa on. I've just come back from Lapland, Mark. I missed the Monday night club because I was over in Lapland.
That's nice.
Yeah. I sort of miss you and everybody really, but I think Santa's a bit more sort of cheerful and maybe a bit more important than you.
I would absolutely agree. I didn't do it either, so I had no idea that you hadn't done it. But there we are. Right, let's go to the boxing, which is on from 9 o'clock tonight here on 5 Live on Sports Extra from 7:30. Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder both in action, and Ron McIntosh will be your commentator in Saudi Arabia.
Thank you very much indeed, Mark. I am here ringside at the Kingdom Arena, Boulevard City in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And what an action-packed bill it's been so far. And as you've pointed out, there is still plenty more to come. Daniel Dubois takes on the Brooklyn Big Mouth, Jarrell Miller. That in a non-title contest scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds. A real intriguing bout. Daniel Dubois, so explosive. Jarrell Miller, very durable. And then we go into a light heavyweight title fight. Dimitri Bivol, the best light heavyweight in the world. Lyndon Arthur from Manchester with the shot of a lifetime. And then we move back up to the big boys. Two former world champions going head-to-head as the KO artist Deontay Wilder takes on the former WBO heavyweight champion Joseph Parker. And ending the evening is Anthony Joshua facing off against Otto Wallin. Both men in their third fight of 2023. They've been incredibly active, and each man feels that they are one win away from getting themselves a shot at the richest prize in sport, the heavyweight championship of the world. Don't miss it. It's all on 5 Live Sports Extra and BBC 5 Live.
Yeah, 5 Live from 9 o'clock at the end of 606 08085 909 693 to get your calls into Chris and Robbie. Who's going to be top at Christmas? Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1 at the break. Here are Stephen Warnock and John Murray.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, Anfield is ready for the second half. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1. The players are ready. No changes, no further changes at half-time. And there the second half begins with Liverpool kicking off. A roar from all around the home sections as Jesus charges down an attempted ball forward from Konate, which fortunately for Liverpool bounces back to Alisson. So Liverpool with Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and substitute Gomez at left back after Tsimikas had to go off in the first half after colliding with Jurgen Klopp and coming off worst. So that's the back four: Szoboszlai, Endo and Jones in midfield, Salah, Gakpo and Diaz the front three. Might be changes in that department in the second half, we'll see. And Arsenal in the yellow shirts, those bright yellow shirts with the wavy black stripes on them. Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Zinchenko, Odegaard, Rice and Havertz, Saka, Jesus and Martinelli. 1-1 the score. Gabriel heading in for Arsenal and Mo Salah equalising for Liverpool with a real rifling shot. It was a very good goal. Mo Salah, who's actually pictured on the front of the official match programme today. So up here in the stands, high above the manager's coaching area, we're watching down. Stephen Warnock is with me as Liverpool attack down the left, but Diaz dispossessed. Arsenal played up towards Jesus, who goes down under the challenge from Van Dijk, who's able to work it out. Final touch off the Liverpool man for a throw-in to Arsenal. So Stephen, what about the second half then?
Well, I think from an Arsenal point of view, it's very much the same as what they did in the first half, is try and soak up the pressure that Liverpool put on them, but have that quality to counter-attack.
Slip centre field after the throw-in was taken. Havertz slipped, and that has led in Liverpool as Szoboszlai took it to the edge of the penalty area. It really opened up from there, and he didn't take advantage. Played it to Salah, misplaced the pass. Salah still able to get a cross in from the right-hand side, left-footed, but easily cleared away by Declan Rice. That was a missed opportunity.
It was, and Jurgen Klopp drops his arms by his side as if to say, why is he not shooting? We know that Szoboszlai in that position likes to get his shots away. There's two players in the Liverpool team that you want in that position. It's him and Trent Alexander-Arnold.
And that's sloppy from Martinelli, being caught on the ball by Liverpool, but then Salah can't take it on. Gabriel is able to come across, passes it forward. Jesus just inside his own half, just very close to Jurgen Klopp, so he better watch himself as Konate puts in the challenge, but he doesn't fall off the pitch into Jurgen Klopp. He falls infield, and it's a free kick to Arsenal on the halfway line.
Just break the play up nicely there, Arsenal. Just snuff the danger out of Mohamed Salah down this right hand side in front of them. They've defended well against him at times, and obviously let him slip for that one moment, and he punished them.
5 Live and BBC Sounds, live from Anfield. Throw in for Zinchenko. Zinchenko just standing in front of where Mikel Arteta is standing. Arsenal made a terrific start to the match, got their goal, but Liverpool have battled their way back into this. Liverpool now winning the ball back near the halfway line, and that looks very much like Gakpo is being pulled back by Declan Rice, and the assistant down here, Simon Bennett, has flagged for it. Referee Kavanagh gives the free kick and also shows Rice a yellow card.
Yeah, well, he almost piggybacks him, doesn't he, because Gakpo gets his body in between Declan Rice and the ball, and then he's dragging his arm, he's pulling away at him, making sure that he can't get away. Declan Rice almost gestures, why is it a foul? But it's clearly a foul, and it is a booking as well.
Blustery night here. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1. You can hear Anfield responding to Jurgen Klopp, asking for the volume to be increased. He said the only reason that he spoke about the atmosphere is that he knows how good it can be and what a difference it can make. That's what he says in the match programme tonight, Jurgen Klopp. So, stand by. Free kick. Alexander-Arnold strikes it straight into the back of Jesus. You can hear it slap onto his shirt, his figure-hugging shirt from up here. Suspect via the use of a microphone, but it's out for a throw-in to Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold holding that high-vis ball above his head, takes a throw down to Diaz, and Diaz crossing into the penalty area, but an easy catch for Raya to
nothing ball, is it?
Leap forward and pluck it out of the air.
It's a really poor ball from Diaz. I mean, Diaz is at the moment flattering to deceive.
Arsenal lose possession. Odegaard is dispossessed. Now it finds its way to Salah. Shoots. It's deflected off Gabriel. It took the power off it, and Raya was able to move quickly to his left and catch the ball. Yeah,
wasted opportunity again from Liverpool. They've had 2 opportunities in this second half where they've dispossessed Arsenal high up the pitch.
Now they've lost it again. Zinchenko, far too casual. Salah then wasn't able to find the pass to Jones. Well, it's an untidy little period of play there where Arsenal could have been in big trouble, and now Saka's lost it on the far side, or more correctly been dispossessed. Salah square infield to Szoboszlai. He himself slipped, so did Jesus, and now Arsenal bring it forward. And then there's a miscontrol from Martinelli in centre field. and Virgil van Dijk is now on the halfway line, urging his team forward. And he's calling for better. You can see that, the Liverpool captain. Szoboszlai to his right, Alexander-Arnold, ball in, all very nearly into the path of Gakpo. Saliba was just able to step into the path of the ball and cut it out.
Brilliant from Saliba.
It was, and now that's a nice pass from Saka as well at the other end, diagonally across the pitch. Martinelli into the area with Konate, who got a foot in and took the ball away from the Arsenal number 11. And he gets a huge ovation there, as you can hear. And then Alexander-Arnold with the ball down the right for Salah. Salah is up against Gabriel this time. Into the box now, still going. Gabriel got a foot in it. Still Salah, square from him. Diaz misses his kick on the edge of the area. Mishit it completely. And the ball bounced harmlessly wide. But Diaz, despite that, he applauds the Kop, who are on their feet twirling their scarves. Goal kick.
Huge wasted opportunity from Diaz. Good play from Mohamed Salah. Picks him out, picks his teammate out. He just snatches at the shot almost too quickly, and he had an overlapping run from Curtis Jones, who he should have used in that situation. But John, neither manager will be happy about this start to the second half. They'll feel like they're far too open and that neither team has control of the game.
No, and it's been out of keeping really with the way that the match was in the first half. But Liverpool on top now, since Mohamed Salah scored his 12th Premier League goal of the season, his 16th in all competitions. And just having a look at the list as well, not only is Solanke now on 11, but also Jared Bowen and Son Heung-min with the goals that they scored this afternoon. So it's bunching up behind Haaland at the top of the Premier League goal-scoring list. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1. We'll have commentary and coverage of tomorrow's matches. 5 Live Sport commentary. Wolves-Chelsea from 1 o'clock. Salah has nicked it away from Zinchenko. Now to the edge of the area. Declan Rice just steps in, got a foot on it, and the ball rolled back to his goalkeeper.
Easy for me to say up here, John, but wrong pass. He looks for the killer pass into Gakpo, and if he'd have just held it a fraction of a second, Diaz would have been free, because there was 2 defenders sensing the danger of Gakpo. But Liverpool's pressing this second half has been so much better, and Arsenal are struggling to deal with it.
Yeah, really unsettled Arsenal as Jesus goes down under the challenge of Van Dijk near the centre circle, and he is extremely unhappy that was given as a free kick. But I have to say, it looked like it to me from up here, but Van Dijk disagrees, and Jurgen Klopp is in discussions with the 4th official, Craig Pawson, down there. Free kick Arsenal though, and that's managed to relieve a bit of pressure.
Yeah, it has, and they needed that pressure taken off them, because they've just been struggling to get out the half, Arsenal.
So Arsenal in possession inside their own half. In fact, on the edge of their own penalty area, with Gabriel, who left-footed, plays it away. Konate wins the header forward. Gakpo's in there, Zinchenko's gone to ground. Liverpool Endo through the middle to Szoboszlai, and now Diaz dropped his shoulder, manages to find Gomez, curling shot! Oh, just beyond the far post. Well, he had a big chance in the first half, Joe Gomez. I have a little feeling that perhaps Jurgen Klopp said to him at half-time, if you're in a position like that again, go and see if you can score your first Liverpool goal. And if he'd been able to find the bottom corner, that would have been a gem.
That would have been a gem, John, you're right, because he just sends it round Saliba. He uses him perfectly, and he just tries to find that far corner. I don't know whether David Raya would have had it covered had it been on target, but a great play by Joe Gomez.
If he'd scored that, Gomez, I think Kenny Dalglish would have been proud of that, as Konate plays the ball back towards the edge of his penalty area, and Alisson volleys it away into the centre circle. Liverpool again, attitude's been good. Arsenal are being really unsettled, and Saka now goes down under the challenge on the halfway line, but it's given us a free kick. Diaz's challenge on him, free kick to Arsenal. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1 here on BBC Radio. I hope you all managed to hear Kenny Dalglish's acceptance speech at the Sports Personality of the Year award the other night. It was typical of the man. Looking at his name, which is glowing in red, as Liverpool defend. Martinelli's got space here. Crossfield pass into the box now. Martinelli trying to find a way through, but Szoboszlai was able to stand up tall. Mikel Arteta is urging his team back after that rare foray downfield, but there's a rare thing. Miscontrol by Salah at full tilt. And so Zinchenko said, thank you very much, and put the ball back to his goalkeeper.
He just saw the run of Trent Alexander-Arnold, who made an overlapping run. He wanted to use him. He wanted to try and buy a little bit more time to find the pass. Just sort of ricocheted off his opposite foot as he took his eye off the ball. Well, this has been one-way traffic, John.
It has, yeah, and they've really pressured Arsenal, Liverpool. Lines open for 606 08 085 909 693 to book your call to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton, who also, by the way, will be on air between 3 and 4 tomorrow afternoon with a Christmas Eve 606. No rest as Diaz brings the ball infield, and the ball is shot goalwards. And also that meant that I wasn't able to finish that sentence. Here's Konate on the halfway line. Konate out to Van Dijk in the turquoise boots, who thought about the forward pass to Joe Gomez, but instead went infield. What about a change up front? Do Liverpool want to make a change, or will Jurgen Klopp think, actually no, I'll stick with what I've got at the moment?
Yeah, I don't think he'll be in a huge rush to change things. He might just feel like he's got another 5 minutes or so just on the cusp of something happening.
And what would you like to see him do?
I think it's an interesting one whether he brings on, obviously, Darwin Nunez, but where do you play him? Do you play him on the left, or do you play him through the middle? Who do you make the change for? Is it Gakpo or is it Diaz? I think it's a toss of a coin at the moment. The other one is obviously Ryan Gravenberch in midfield. Does he decide that he needs more running power through the middle?
Excellent play from Rice. Zinchenko left him with a lot to do there. He was under pressure, Rice kept the ball, and now Arsenal on the attack with Saka down the right hand side, but White has the ball taken off his toes, and Gomez thought that was going to roll out for a corner, but Gomez showed an excellent turn of pace there to slide and put it out for a throw only to Arsenal over in that corner where the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand meets the Anfield Road end, with a huge crowd since the partial opening of the Anfield Road end. Ball into the Liverpool penalty area. Konate underneath it just heads it up in the air, heads it straight to Jesus, who's got it down and shoots right across the 6-yard box, but there was no one in there in the yellow shirt, and it's out for a throw.
I don't blame Konate at all in that situation. Alisson has to be telling his defender, get out the way, keep his ball loud as you can. Even if you have to shove him out the way, make sure that you come and claim that ball and take the pressure off.
Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1. Arsenal in the yellow shirts. Apparently every team that's played away in the Premier League today has been in a change kit. Here's Saliba inside his own half. Zinchenko then plays it infield, groans because it was just beyond Diaz. Ben White's pass, no. Gomez is able to step forward and prevent that reaching Saka, so Liverpool off on yet another attack in this second half. And so here is the Colombian on the left-hand side. Diaz flicks it back into Saka, so that will result in a throw-in as it hammers into the red and white advertising hoardings, advertising a famous red and white product. See if you can guess what it is. Holidays are coming. Here's Liverpool with Endo, who goes back towards the halfway line, and the ball is passed to Konate, and Konate takes it down and finds his goalkeeper Alisson, all in black. Right-footed ball out over the top of Salah, and it's a throw into Arsenal inside their own half. Half an hour to go, level at 1-1. These two teams top of the league coming into this round of matches. Now Liverpool down in third place after Aston Villa's draw last night. Former Aston Villa player sitting next to me here, Alexander-Arnold, though for Liverpool playing it forward, bounces off Salah, and now back with Rice on the edge of his penalty area. It was excellent play, wasn't it, from Rice a few moments ago? Really top class, actually. Here is Saka.
I think that's the side of his game that has improved in such a short space of time. His understanding, his awareness of what's around him.
His England teammate Jude Bellingham was apparently watching Sunderland today, his brother, where Coventry won well. Here is Saka on the right-hand side. Saka into the box, right-footed ball across. Alexander-Arnold clears it away. Odegaard does well to take it down. Zinchenko on the left foot, but he really rather sliced at it with the outside of his boot, and it was away wide and high at the top left corner by a yard or two.
Yeah, well, there's the danger that Arsenal possess. Simple switch of play, and Saka in a 1v1 situation, and he drives a lovely ball across the 6-yard box. Credit to Konate, gets just ahead of Kai Havertz and brushes him aside and makes sure that he can't get a simple tap in. But that is what Arsenal can do. They can change the game so quickly.
So Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton waiting for your calls on 08085 909 693 for 606. And also a change of plan in Saudi Arabia. I hear that the boxing on Sports Extra has been brought forward. I'm not sure that's ever happened in boxing before. It's usually late. But 7 o'clock, it's on Sports Extra, and it will be Daniel Dubois that'll be our first commentary fight from our team in Saudi Arabia, and it's on 5 Live later, after 6:06, after 9 o'clock. But the whole thing from 7 o'clock on Sports Extra via BBC Sounds and on your digital radio. And by the way, this will be a first chance to talk to Robbie and Chris about everything that happened with the proposed Super League in midweek, so I'm sure they'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on that. Arsenal and Liverpool have eventually finding their position on that this week, as Van Dijk hits a long ball downfield onto the chest of Gakpo. Szoboszlai has a goal, low, but dragged it wide and rubs the back of his head with both hands in frustration that he couldn't get that on target.
Oh, he wants a better strike, but what it is and what it does is it draws players out of position, because the next time he gets on the ball, they don't want to afford him that space. So someone engages, that then frees up a run, a simple little slide pass. But you have to say, Gabriel's positioning is so good, getting along the line of the ball, making sure he makes the shot difficult for him.
Gabriel, the Brazilian, 26 on Tuesday, one of quite a number of Arsenal players who have their birthdays in December. Konate sending it forward, but Raya's able to come right to the extreme of his penalty area and catch the ball as it bounces up in front of him. Now Declan Rice receives it back from White, and then picks a pass in between Diaz and Jones to Odegaard. Saka, who was a real problem for Liverpool in the opening half hour when Arsenal took the lead until the Liverpool equaliser, but then Tsimikas got injured, Gomez came on, and Saka really hasn't had too many opportunities since then to put Gomez under pressure, playing out of position at left back, but that's because Liverpool have been on top probably since that point. Odegaard turns and is fouled by Endo, who is on a yellow card, but that was just a foul. But it's a free kick to Arsenal, right of centre.
He's going to have to be careful, Endo, because he's had 1 or 2 of those in this second half where he's been almost too eager to pinch the ball and be so aggressive in the way that he presses. And here come the changes for Liverpool down in front of us. They're going to make a couple, John.
Yeah, well, you said Darwin Nunez, and it is Gravenberch as well who's coming on. So the double change, but not yet, not before this free kick is taken, and we've played just over the hour here. We're in the 64th minute. 1-1, 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Free kick. Rice to take this from over towards the right. Curls it in beyond Gabriel, who really wasn't within 2 or 3 yards of it, and then it is seen off the pitch by Alexander-Arnold, even though Martinelli came across and just nudged into him. But it's a throw into Liverpool in the right back area. So will it be Gakpo who makes way, or will it be Diaz? I wonder. Maybe moving Gakpo out into a wider position. We'll see.
Yeah, I just wonder whether it's going to be Diaz. Diaz looks very tired and he's wandered into a more central position. Gakpo's headed out onto that left-hand side now.
He's not scored in his last 5 appearances, Diaz. As I said, Nunez coming on here. No goal in his last 11 Liverpool appearances. But I remember him coming on at the start of the season against Newcastle and scoring the vital goals. As Odegaard thought he was fouled between combination of Gakpo and Endo, but Arsenal swing it out towards the right-hand side. Saka looking to cut infield. Challenge comes in on him, but he managed to find the pass. He's been caught late though. Odegaard in possession. Both players are down in a little bit of trouble. It was Diaz, I think, who made the contact, and the ball is smacked out of play for a throw over there on the far side. And I think it was Diaz who came off worst. It might have been a clash of shins between the two of them, Saka and Diaz.
Yeah, he's just a little bit late to the ball, Diaz, and he's ended up hurting himself and hurting his knee. That might possibly be the end of his afternoon anyway, but even if it's not, yeah, it's just a clash of his knee on Saka's thigh. At least there's no sort of twists or turn. It's just an impact injury, which is a good sign.
So Diaz it is, and actually we know, we've been tipped the wink, that the plan was for Gakpo to come off, but there might have to be a change of plan depending on how Diaz is, and he is receiving treatment. Curtis Jones is going to make way in the midfield. I don't think that's a surprise for Gravenberch, and there were worries, weren't there, when he came off last week that it might be a hamstring injury, but apparently only a bit of fatigue for Gravenberch.
Yeah, I think because he hasn't played a lot of football in the last couple of years, and then suddenly being thrust into a Liverpool team to try and get as fit as possible, that is sort of just held him back a little bit. They're actually going to make another change, John. Harvey Elliott's getting changed as well.
Right.
So whether that's off the back of
Diaz and
Diaz,
yeah,
picking up that injury.
Well, Elliott did well, didn't he, against West Ham on Wednesday night in the Cup? So Elliott's been hastily called forward by Jurgen Klopp, and he's receiving, it does make me laugh, the amount of information that they're given from the coaches before they come onto the field. And I wonder how often that is actually different from what they've been told pre-match. I suspect not often. And also Trossard is going to come on for Saka, and here he comes as well, so that's going to be it for Saka, and I presume for Diaz as well. Now Diaz is walking towards us here, he's coming, so it looks as though it's going to be a triple change for Liverpool and one change for Arsenal. So these are Liverpool's changes 2, 3 and 4 of the match. So yes, Curtis Jones sees his number come up, Gakpo as well, and Diaz is also walking towards this side of the field. And Harvey Elliott, Ryan Gravenberch and Darwin Nunez come on to replace them. And there's a significant rejig here, Stephen.
Yeah, there is, because Nunez does go across onto that left-hand side. Mohamed Salah goes through the middle, and then Harvey Elliott comes across to the right-hand side, which is a very interesting change. It's a different change for Arsenal, John.
Yeah, Martinelli, who has a very good record against Liverpool, scored in both of the matches last season, including the 2-2 draw here, and he's off. Trossard is on to replace him.
You got the wrong nod and a wink on the Arsenal one.
Yeah.
Enough information to your left.
It was, yeah. There'll be words. Not Saka. Saka remains on the field. I suspect the app will get the blame.
Possibly.
I was always told it's a bad workman who blames his tools. Right, so that's quite a change for Liverpool now then. And Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1 as the match finally resumes. So Saka is Okay, running freely enough as Arsenal come forward, and here is the new man for Arsenal, Trossard, into the action, the Belgian, who, remember, has scored a hat-trick here against Liverpool. In fact, 4 goals at Anfield he scored in his career, the former Brighton man. Zinchenko, square to Rice. So as well as a bad workman blaming his tools, we can use horses for courses as well, can't we? Here's Rice getting the ball down, right-footed, playing it across the edge of the penalty area. Alexander-Arnold gets up and heads it down and away. Elliott chasing after it, and Arsenal taking up possession again. Ball dragged back by Zinchenko and then given to Trossard down the line. Trossard then miscontrols it out of play, and that's a throw-in to Liverpool. Stephen Warner.
Yeah, he does pick up some lovely positions though, Trossard. He's not going to be hugging the line like Martinelli does. He's going to wander, he's going to make it difficult, he's going to try and pull Konate out of positions and make life very uncomfortable for him, and try and also help get alongside Gabriel Jesus and get as close to him as he can, and try and alter the way that Arsenal have attacked this Liverpool backline.
To talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton, 08085 909 693, hashtag BBC 606, text 85058. Here is Odegaard, then back to the edge of the penalty area. Arsenal, who Saliba had to be quick there, but he was. Quick change of feet to give it to Rice, who passed it quickly out to the right hand side to Ben White. But this is Liverpool excellent pressing again. It bounces back to Raya, who needs to get the ball down with his right foot onto his left, which he does, and clears it. But headed forward by Alexander-Arnold. Elliott into action, goes for goal, it's deflected, and I think clipped the outside of the post off Gabriel. It sort of hit his body, which glanced it wide of the dive to his left from Raya, and I do think just clipped the outside of the post.
Yeah, it's that position that he scored against Crystal Palace a couple of weeks back away at Selhurst Park, and when he picked it up, I'm thinking, just hit it, make the most of it. Again, Gabriella said he gets in the line of the ball well. He's the one who deflects it onto the post.
Liverpool corner. It's actually their first corner of the second half. The score is 1-1. Alexander-Arnold. This is a high one. Curl on it as well. Van Dijk heads it across the penalty area. Gabriel is underneath that, stoops forward as he heads it away. And he's found Saka, and Saka plays it over the halfway line. Trossard on the chase. Gomez trying to get there, which he does actually. Trossard though takes it into the full-back position. Jesus finding a position in the middle. Trossard twisting, turning, still going, drags it back, beats Gomez, and then Szoboszlai comes in with a challenge to knock it behind for a corner to Arsenal.
Yeah, he wasn't getting away from Joe Gomez, was he? That turn of pace from Gomez, making sure that he gets close to Trossard, surrounded by 3 players, but does exceptionally well to win his team a corner.
So Arsenal, having faced a corner at one end, within seconds have won one at the other. That enormous camera on the rope just drops down into my eye line, and then it drifts away high up above the play again. And Saka takes this corner for Arsenal, but doesn't beat Gomez at the near post, and then Odegaard collides with his teammate, and Salah nips it away, and Salah's over the halfway line to the edge of the area. Alexander-Arnold hits the crossbar. The goal was gaping. There were 3 options there to Salah's right, and Alexander-Arnold couldn't find the net. Instead, the frame of the goal.
Yeah, well, no one can believe it in Anfield. I think it takes a slight bobble. I'm going to say it hits the slightest of bobble, just because the way it comes off his foot and goes so high. He should score. Great weighted pass by Mohamed Salah.
And there were any number of options. I think he had 3 options to his right and 1 option to his left, Salah. It was unfortunate, Arsenal, the way that they lost the ball there when the 2 Arsenal players collided near the edge of the area, but Liverpool was so close to taking full advantage. Saka dispossessed inside the Liverpool penalty area. We've got less than 20 minutes to go. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1. You can hear the feeling that there is inside Anfield all around us right now, mainly below us. Here's Van Dijk, Konate with those spindly log legs of his. Back to Van Dijk, who picks out a pass to Szoboszlai, takes that down, turns. Salah on the run. Salah now on 149 league goals for Liverpool. But work done by Gabriel, and completed by Zinchenko to the halfway line. Konate again in possession, having made sure that Liverpool kept it against Jesus. Endo here to the right hand side, then Alexander-Arnold back into the centre circle. Van Dijk. The crowd just take a breather now while Liverpool have possession in centre field. I think Jurgen Klopp's call for a better atmosphere has been answered today. Endo forward, Gravenberch. He's just outside of the penalty area. Gravenberch slips it through to Elliott, now to Gomez in the area. Lots of yellow shirts. Gomez goes for goal, and Raya is able to palm it away. It was more or less straight at him, just had to drop down to his right and push it behind corner.
I think it's a cross, John. I think it's just because it's on his weaker left foot. He's just trying to hammer it hard as he can. Hopefully it'll get a deflection. But Raya nearly caught out with his near post as well to push it round the corner.
He's had some chances, Gomez, hasn't he, today and last Sunday against Manchester United. Joe Gomez. This is 196th Liverpool appearance. Here's the corner, and it is swirled in from the far side. And even though several players from each team jumped for it, I'm not sure anyone got a touch. They did.
Yeah, I think it's Saliba. I think Saliba just got the tiniest of touches on it.
And it actually bounced out the other side of the flag for another Liverpool corner. This one from the right. So Alexander-Arnold has got this one. The Kop stand and wait to see what Alexander-Arnold can do with this, which he is an outswinger, which is headed over by Nunez from just forward of the penalty spot. Couldn't keep it down, over the bar by a yard. Goal kick Arsenal, 1-1, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, he's just unopposed as he goes for this, Nunez, but he's almost got his body turned to the side as he heads it. Should do better because it's sort of 6-7 yards out and he just makes a mess of it. John, I've just seen the replay of that Trent Alexander-Arnold one. It bobbles just as he hits it, the slightest bit, which just jumps off his ankle. He should be scoring though.
What's going on? Bobble at Anfield.
I know, incredible.
Well, but it did, you're absolutely right. It's actually, well, there were a couple of bobbles as it was passed to him. Shouts as Gabriel heads the ball above Salah, and then it comes back to Gabriel, who just hikes it out of play on the halfway line. Throw into Liverpool. Arsenal going to make another change. Gabriel Jesus coming off, and it's going to be Eddie Nketiah who is coming on. And just want to mention, as we get towards the closing stages of this match, when I get an opportunity, Szoboszlai loses out, Arsenal, with Odegaard. Here's Trossard running free into the centre circle. Pass just lacked a bit of pace to Saka, so he has to drag it forward and then wait for the overlap from White, who's going to do well. In fact, he can only slide and put it out of play for a Liverpool throw. These two teams this season, as we know, love a late goal, and from the 81st minute onwards in Premier League matches this season, Liverpool have scored 11 goals and Arsenal have scored 10. So Gabriel Jesus is taking his time to go off. That's why the Liverpool fans are booing. There was the usual, is it me? Is it not me? Is it him? I think that just lets us know what Arsenal are thinking here. They've got 1-1 at the moment. They're up against it. Liverpool are on top, and Arsenal are delaying the restart for as long as possible. And finally, Gabriel Jesus is off and replaced by Eddie Nketiah.
Well, he's going to have to do a little bit more than Gabriel Jesus because he's found it difficult against Van Dijk and against Konate. He doesn't have the physical stature, but he's got good movement. Nketiah off the shoulder. Doesn't like to drop as deep as Gabriel Jesus, so it might just cause a little bit of a different threat to the two centre-backs of Liverpool.
So it's a throw-in to Liverpool inside their own half. Still level at 1-1, and we have got 12 minutes to go of the 90. Been entertaining, but no further addition to the scoreline since the 29th minute. And really, David Raya hasn't been asked too many questions, despite Liverpool's play. Gomez slices the ball across field. The wind definitely caught that as well. Elliott, though, is scurrying in there to win it back. Szoboszlai gets a nice break off Zinchenko, and then infield pass. The groans from Liverpool because he passed it straight to Declan Rice. Rice with the ball inside his own half. There have been some famous late goals in Liverpool-Arsenal matches over the years. One in particular stands out. Here's Havertz, who plays it back into his own half.
Neil Mellors.
That was one of them. It was one of them.
Oh, no, it was. That was an incredible night. I remember being a youngster watching that.
I didn't think you were old enough. The ball's deflected out of play for a throw to Arsenal over on the right-hand side. I take it you're referring to it's up for grabs now.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
And remember Arshavin scoring 4 goals in the 4-4 draw here. Here's Zinchenko playing the ball to his right-hand side. Saka is there. Now Ben White arrives onto it. White's ball all the way across the penalty area, cleared by Alexander-Arnold. Zinchenko, a real pile driver from him, but it hits Konate inside the penalty area, who was dropping into the path of it, and Liverpool are able to play it up towards the halfway line. Salah loses out to Saliba, and Saliba then is able to pick out Odegaard, who shrugs off a couple of challenges, might open up for Saka. 2 Liverpool men are there, bounces back to Saka, still the Arsenal man with the ball, then back. Declan Rice, low shot from him, but a fallen Konate is able to block that away as well. And Liverpool break towards the halfway line. Szoboszlai, Darwin Núñez tried to find him, but Liverpool lost possession. Saka won it back. Now Kai Havertz. Havertz will be suspended for Arsenal's next match, the game against West Ham on Thursday after his yellow card in the first half. Darwin Núñez would miss Liverpool's next match if he received a yellow in the remainder of this game. We're into the last 10 minutes now at Anfield, noisy Anfield. Trossard on the left wing, back to Zinchenko, who goes back into the centre circle. And Declan Rice curls the ball out towards the far side into the path of Saka, who's going to run at Joe Gomez. In comes help for him from Darwin Núñez. Saka weaves his way infield, and then eventually it finds its way out to the left-hand side here to Trossard. Trossard is up against Elliott. Low ball into the penalty area for Havertz. Havertz glides onto it, then goes down under the challenge of Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool get it away, but Arsenal were looking at the referee. Trossard into the box now. Konate blocks it, and then Havertz goes for an outside of the foot shot, which goes straight behind. And Havertz is going across to Chris Kavanagh. Zinchenko has had a word with the referee, and also Martin Odegaard, as the Arsenal captain, has walked across just to inquire. And what do we think? We're seeing it again now. This was Alexander-Arnold leaning into Kai Havertz.
I've seen him given, John. I must say it's a very strange challenge from Trent Alexander-Arnold, because he almost pushes him in the back, and he feels the contact, Havertz, and goes to ground. I thought it was clumsy from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Why put that doubt into, or that question into the mind of the referee?
That certainly falls under the heading of debatable. That could have been given. I think it also falls under the category of, if the referee's given that on the field, VAR aren't overturning it. But he didn't. Chris Kavanagh decided not. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1. Arsenal fans will be talking about that, but then Liverpool fans will probably talk about Odegaard's handball and whether that should have been given as a penalty in the first half. That's on 606, not too far away. 08085 909 693 to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. The highlights on Match of the Day tonight. Watch it, BBC One, or any time on the iPlayer, and the 5 Live Football Daily in the morning on BBC Sounds, where all of BBC's radio awaits you, as well as all of the various podcasts. Perfect for Christmas. Throw in, Saka inside the box, ball across, took a little deflection which carried it into the path of Alisson, who underarms it out, and Liverpool come again deep into the last 10 minutes here at Anfield. Lovely turn from Núñez on the far side to beat White. Rice comes in, still Núñez beats him as well. Núñez still going, change of feet, takes it back out of the penalty area, then square to Szoboszlai. Heavy touch from the Hungarian, and that meant that the challenge could come in from Nketiah, which took it away from Liverpool, but they've got it back. Elliott back to Szoboszlai, turns square from him. Salah central, that's dangerous for Arsenal, but Salah is forced by Havertz to give it back outside of the penalty area. Elliott now, low ball across Szoboszlai, but into the path of Gabriel, who's able to side-foot it away aerially, not out of play. Alexander-Arnold lifts it forward for Szoboszlai down into the full-back position, but Arsenal with Rice win it back, but then lose it again. Loose ball centre field, and Nketiah's onto that, and Salah tackles back to win it, and illegally. There was an arm, he moved an arm into Nketiah, and the free kick is given, even though Arsenal have played it forward. A yellow card for Salah as well for the challenge, possibly for what he said afterwards.
That's just for the gestures from Salah, but he's exactly right. I mean, it's a shoulder to shoulder. I said it before, when Havertz went shoulder to shoulder with Endo, there's no need to give the foul. It wasn't a foul at all, and he's had some strange moments in the game where you think, just let things go a little bit more. It is a contact sport.
Free kick. Arsenal are in no hurry. We are in the 85th minute here at Anfield. Trossard on the left-hand side. Trossard running away from Szoboszlai, still going down into the final few yards of the pitch there, where Szoboszlai has to throw himself in front of it, and in doing so concedes a corner for Arsenal. Set piece, already scored from a set piece in this match. Gabriel got the ball rolling in the 4th minute. This a corner from the left, in front of where the Arsenal supporters are standing, mainly, many of them red and white scarves wrapped around their necks. Trossard to take the corner for Arsenal. Lots of men running towards the near post as it's delivered in there, but cleared out of play by Gomez, who got there first in red to side-foot it out of play. Trossard himself will take this. Just waits though, bounces the ball. Might be a change of plan, there is. Zinchenko, so Liverpool faithful think that Arsenal are swinging the lead again and wasting time. Zinchenko to take the throw. Just waits and waits with the ball above his head. Still waiting, eventually takes it. Trossard back to Zinchenko, actually deflects off Zinchenko to Havertz. Havertz cross, that's blocked by Endo, and then Trossard will do well to keep this in. He does keep it in, but Elliott touches it out of play for another throw to Arsenal. 4 minutes of the 90 to play, level at 1-1. They will meet again in the FA Cup in the 3rd round at the Emirates. We'll have coverage of that, lots of commentary by the way on that FA Cup 3rd round weekend on 5 Live. Throw-in taken, hooked in field, and Nketiah was onto this, but then in comes the challenge by Endo, who has come off worst in that, and actually Eddie Nketiah stepped into that, and that's a yellow card for the Arsenal substitute.
Yeah, I'd like to see it again just to see how much he gets of Endo, whether Endo's sort of made a meal of it, whether he wants to make sure that he wins that foul. I'm not so sure that's a yellow card again. I'm really not. I think the yellow cards that have been distributed today have been far too eager to come out the pocket of the referee.
So Liverpool take the free kick on the edge of their own penalty area. Tomorrow on 5 Live, commentary on Wolves-Chelsea, coverage of Motherwell against Rangers, Christmas Eve. Do join us for that. Here's Salah coming out with the ball on the halfway line, then giving it to Gravenberch. Now to the left-hand side to Darwin Nunez. Nunez cutting in on his right foot, low ball across. Gravenberch controls it, but then Rice is able to get a touch on it, and there's another foul, a little foul by Gravenberch on Odegaard, and Arsenal have a free kick.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, his positioning, Declan Rice, understanding of where the danger might come to or might happen. He's always sniffing in and around it, making sure he's in good positions.
Yes, he is. He's been excellent again today. The 2 central defenders, Declan Rice, they've been crucial for Arsenal in this second half.
Yeah, they have. I mean, every time I watch Saliba, he just gets better and better. The confidence that he has within his own game.
Still just 22, Saliba. Pass long downfield from Raya, but that is way beyond anyone in a yellow shirt, and it bounces out of play for a throw-in to Liverpool.
It's not a bad centre-back pairing for France, if you look at Canate and Saliba, the 2 French players on display. Oh wow!
Saka collides centre field with Gravenberch, and now that is given as a free kick.
I think he slips
to Liverpool, and Saka, who is already on a yellow card. Well, Stephen, you're saying that he slipped into that challenge.
It doesn't mean that it's not a yellow card, but he does slip into it. I think what the Liverpool players are saying that is it's 2-footed and it could be a straight red. I'm not so sure it is. I think as he goes in for the challenge with Gravenberch, he slips. and he knows it straight away. He's up, he apologises.
Yeah, he's unfortunate there.
He's
but
very unfortunate.
It does not look good. That doesn't look good. And I have to say that in the normal run of things, that would be at least a yellow card for Saka.
And I think what the referee is saying is he's saying that.
He is saying,
and that's the best bit of refereeing he's done all game.
Well, that's actually sensible.
Yeah, it is very sensible.
However, not sure everyone with a Liverpool scarf agrees with that, as the ball is played infield by Gravenberch, but straight at Havertz, who's also played well today, I must say. Havertz, he's really now settled into that left midfield role as Nketiah's bundled over on the halfway line. Another free kick to Arsenal this time. We are now in, after that lengthy stoppage there, while the Saka challenge was being sorted out, we're now in the 90th minute, and an Arsenal man is down. Havertz is just taking a while to get to his feet on the far side. So a free kick. Well, normally I would say, watching a match like this, the way that it's gone, the way it is right now, I would say it'll probably finish as it is. But with these two, the way that they're capable of scoring late goals, let's see how much time is added on as well.
I was waiting for that, John. I was going to say, we don't know how many minutes we're going to get extra.
Free kick then, Arsenal take it. White, Saka gets his chest to that. Arsenal look to break, but White did well, then plays it into Gravenberch, and that's given us a free kick. And I think another yellow card's going to come out here. It is for Ben White for that challenge. Actually, it wasn't a great challenge. So that's another one. How many yellow cards have we had now? I'm trying to work that out. Gary will have a look. Five in total.
Mistake.
Given away by Konate on the halfway line. Odegaard now to the left-hand side. It's 5 minutes of added time. That's what Gary was saying to me. Not 5 yellow cards, 5 minutes of added time.
Don't blame your tools, John.
That's a bit rude. As the ball is played back to Gabriel infield. Now Saliba back to Rice in front of his own penalty area, and all the way back to goalkeeper Raya. Right-footed ball from the Arsenal goalkeeper onto the head of Van Dijk. We are into added time now. Arsenal low, Odegaard, simple little pass to Saka. It's almost 3 against 3 as Saka shoots, deflected across the face of goal, across the face of the 6-yard box. Not sure if it was on target, but that deflection means it's an Arsenal corner.
Well, since Liverpool have made the substitutes, Arsenal have been better. The substitutions that Liverpool have made have been poor. Gravenberch can't get into the game, too slow on the ball. Nunez not running back, not tracking, not having an effect on the game. Harvey Elliott, he's been okay, but Arsenal have dominated since them substitutes came onto the pitch.
Okay, Arsenal, late goal, they're sniffing it. Mikel Arteta hopping up and down. Corner to be taken by Trossard from the left-hand side. It's a right footer into the near post, and it's headed away powerfully by Van Dijk. The Liverpool captain made sure that he got to that and got a good header on it, and it's out of play for a throw-in, not too far away from when Mikel Arteta has his hands in his pockets. He bought every member of the media a bottle of red wine and gave them a Christmas card yesterday. Our colleague George Cummins was telling me. Mikel Arteta, how to win friends and influence people. Christmas gesture. Might have a glass or two himself after this, if it stays like this. 1-1. They've been up against it. Arsenal in the second half. Elliott then is fouled by Trossard, by Zinchenko, who just came across and sort of blocked him, took him down. So 5 minutes of added time. We've already had almost 2.5 of that, and there have been 7 yellows, 5 for Arsenal, 2 for Liverpool. Liverpool go back to Konate. Liverpool unable to win against Manchester United here last Sunday, here being held by Arsenal. Only 1 defeat in the Premier League so far for Liverpool this season, the controversial defeat against Tottenham. Arsenal just 2 defeats themselves, losing at Villa Park and St James's Park. This would be a good point here, the way that the match has gone, even though Arsenal were the better team in the early stages. Liverpool with a throw-in now, halfway inside their own half. 3 minutes of the 5 of added time have been played. So the final 2 minutes now are ahead of us. Liverpool with a throw. Gomez skipping forward and throwing it towards the halfway line. Headed on by Gravenberch, headed on by Elliott, but headed out of play. And it's an Arsenal throw. 15 yards inside their own territory. The home sections try to do their bit here. Scarves being twirled on the far side. Arsenal, though, in possession. Still they wait for this throw to be taken. Ben White, who's already on a yellow card. Throw to the halfway line, headed away by Van Dijk. And now forward for Arsenal from Gabriel. Saka battling for it with Gomez. Final touch off the Liverpool man, throw into Arsenal. Just over a minute to go now. Lines open for 606 08 085 909 693. Throw in for Arsenal. White, 2 or 3 strides, then a long throw, challenged by Nketiah, but Gomez was able to head it away. Gravenberch on inside his own half. Saliba heads it forward. Odegaard is beaten to it by Endo. It will roll towards Darwin Núñez, and then Saliba goes into the challenge, sweeps away the legs of Darwin Núñez, giving us a free kick which Liverpool know had to be taken quickly. There was no waiting for that. Darwin Núñez back to halfway, bounces back to Mo Salah, Liverpool's goal scorer here tonight. Back into the centre circle. Back they go now. We're into the last 30 seconds here. Alisson, the goalkeeper, forward towards Szoboszlai. Havertz forcing him back to the halfway line. This will be the final attack, I think. The final chance to win this match. Van Dijk to the left-hand side to Gravenberch. Now Joe Gomez is there. It's going to have to be delivered into the box. It is now from Gomez to the back post. Zinchenko heads it back very carefully to Raya, who was able to scamper along his dead ball line, hold it, and that is it. That is the end of the action. And between the teams that were the top 2 coming into this round of matches, it's finished all square, and Jurgen Klopp and Mikel Arteta turn and give one another a big embrace there. A second consecutive home draw in the Premier League for Liverpool, and Arsenal stay top. They hit 40 points, but they have taken a point at Anfield. Stephen Warnock.
Well, it's interesting then watching Jurgen Klopp and Mikel Arteta embrace when they looked after the game, and Jurgen Klopp just said, wow, 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 what a game. I mean, huge respect for the two teams, because it was an outstanding game. 2 top teams going toe to toe, and that's exactly what they did. The game ebbed and flowed, and then I think the right result was a draw, John.
Yeah, Gabriel giving Arsenal an early lead. That's when they were the better team in the first half hour, but Mohamed Salah, excellent equaliser, rifling shot, classic Salah. And for all Liverpool had the possession and really pressured Arsenal in the second half. They've stood up well there. Gabriel, Saliba, Declan Rice, excellent.
Yeah, that triangle of that the part of the pitch is solid, very, very solid, very well organised, happy to have players running at them, trust themselves in 1v1 situations. They are getting more and more experienced as the weeks go on, which is very obvious, but they're using that to their advantage, and they're understanding now how to play these big games.
And there were chances for penalties at both ends, but Chris Kavanagh and his team of officials decided not. So I'm sure there'll be talk about that on 606. Mikel Arteta is going across there to the Arsenal fans now. Jurgen Klopp's at the other end applauding the people in the Kop and all around Anfield. So there we are, Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1. Live sport continues right now. Our night of live boxing from Saudi Arabia is on Sports Extra right now. BBC Sounds via digital radio. More live football tomorrow, Christmas Eve. We never stop. So there'll be commentary on Wolves-Chelsea from 1 o'clock and also coverage of the Motherwell Rangers match at 12. 5 Live Sport on air from 12 o'clock tomorrow with Katie Smith, and also Mark Chapman will be back on Boxing Day from midday with 5 Live Sport. So listen out over the course of the next hour or so. We will bring you the interviews with Jurgen Klopp and with Mikel Arteta during the course of 606, but Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage will be along after the news. Thank you very much, Stephen, and happy Christmas to you, Stephen Warnock. But the news follows now on 5 Live with Carl Hartley.
Listen on BBC Sound.